you so much for clicking on this video and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a Love Island Beyond the Villa recap of episode 6. And this is a good episode. It is getting so juicy and so good. I am excited to go ahead and recap because Kenny continues on with his lies. That lying liar is lying once again. We get some update on Kendall. Nicole makes an appearance for some reason, and we get into some more juicy topics, so let's get into it. So we start with PPG. They are meeting up at Malibu Wines to take a wine tour, and I've always wanted to do something like that with a little group of friends. That looks like it would be so fun, so relaxing. Get in some wine, look at the views. It looks like it's a good time. They have these cute little outfits on. I love seeing how their friendship has blossomed ever since they got out of the villa. They pull up to their little spot. They get a great view of Saddle Rock, and that leads Serena to ask Leah and Janae how the party went at Saddle Ranch, and Janae immediately goes in to give Serena the details of Kaylor and how she was macking all over Torin in front of Aaron, which got him upset, leading to them having an argument in the parking lot. Serena says she doesn't feel sorry for Aaron that he has to see Kaylor with someone else because of how he was handling everything in the villa. And I'm just like, look, once again, for like the billionth time, yes, the way that Aaron went about handling, trying to explore other connections and how he was with Danielle, yes, I would say in a way was disrespectful to Kaylor because of what connection they had throughout the entire time they were on the show. But on the other hand, can we not also acknowledge that's what the whole point of the show is? To go and explore other connections. Just because Kaylor did not find anyone in the villa when the guys went to Casa, why does that have to be so bad that Aaron found someone else that he connected with? Again, yes, maybe the way that he did it was a little slimy, I guess, but that was a whole year ago. Like, Aaron has apologized multiple times. What else can he do from that situation for everyone to just move on from it? So I was a little annoyed that Serena was talking about I don't care about how he feels, he deserves it, Team Kaylor. I'm like, girl, what is this team? There is no team, nothing. Like, what happened. It's in the past. The real question, when does Aaron get to have that grace to move on? When does he get to move on from everything after he's already taken accountability, apologized, he was completely ridiculed at the reunion? What else does he need to do for y'all to be like, okay, it did happen, we're done with it now? It was annoying, so I was like, okay, skip! Switching over to Kenny and Miguel, they are taking a Muay Thai class. Miguel explains that when he was growing up, he got picked on a lot, so his dad enrolled him in classes so he would be able to protect himself. And he says that once he started, he just fell in love with it, so now it's a passion for him. On the other hand, for Kenny, he never grew up in an environment where he had to protect himself, so he's never been in a fight. He has no knowledge of anything to do with this, so he's just a deer in headlights. Back with PPG, they have a cute little picnic area set up for them, and once they sit down, Serena goes to ask Janae to give them a little update on her and Kenny, and Janae gives them a little rundown on how awkward their dinner date ended up being, and she said that after she expressed to Kenny how she felt, he got quiet, shut down, and just was giving her these serial killer vibes. Staring her down, didn't really give her much responses, so I was just like, yep, sounds about right. So we get back to Kenny and Miguel, and Miguel asks Kenny how their anniversary dinner went, and Kenny is immediately full of shit and starts lying. So get this, Kenny tells Miguel that he misspoke. He was talking to Janae and he said that they both wanted their own space. He says, but in hindsight, she really wanted to live together and she made that clear that night. You do know, Kenny, everything that you've said already is already recorded on camera, correct? Okay, just wanted to make sure before you get into this conversation with Miguel. And he says that as if this is like some new revelation, this is some new information he knew nothing about. Just knowing how Janae is about this relationship, how much she really wanted them to work, and clearly she really wanted them to be in the same apartment for the summer. You know she made that very clear over and over and over again when you guys initially had that conversation. So for you to now try to make it seem like, oh, I never knew she wanted to live together, and now I'm just like feeling caught off guard because now she's just springing this on me, was like so, what's the word, manipulative? Or what's a stronger word than manipulative? I don't even know right now, because like when I'm like seeing the scene, I'm like, are you kidding me? That is not what you said. Because let's go back to when you were on that hike with Miguel. You told him at that point you already knew she wanted to live together, but you did not want to because you just wanted your own space. You gave Miguel this whole story about how you grew up going to boarding schools and you saw how people's relationships didn't work out, so you just wanted to take things slow and didn't want to rush into things.
Vision. Yeah, what about you, lot? Why didn't you guys just decide to crash in the same room? It's just living with somebody it's a lot. You know, I went to boarding school and I saw like people just totally, like their whole relationship ends. Like, so I wanted to give us
so it's not all at once type thing, right?
Yeah, just not all at once.
Yeah.
I don't know, initially I think she wanted to live together. And then, yeah, I was just like, hey, let's take things slowly.
You want to backtrack from that, and you want to act as if you never knew she wanted to live together, and it's just some new information that was sprung up on you. That is so much bullshit. I don't know if it was just me, but the entire time Miguel is looking at Kenny like, like, I know you're lying, I know what it is, but I'm not gonna tell you how I know you're lying. I'm just gonna save face and make you feel like, you know, I'm understanding what you're saying and I'm on your side type of thing. And I'm glad Miguel kind of played it like that, because he was giving him the whole like, oh yeah, I understand where you guys are both coming from type of thing. But in the back of his mind, Miguel already knows that Kenny is full of shit. Miguel knows everything that's going on from Janae specifically because of Leah. So it's just like, there's nothing you can tell Miguel, Kenny, that he doesn't already know what is the truth or not. So yeah, it was clear the entire scene. Kenny could not keep constant eye contact with Miguel the entire time he's spreading these lies. And it was just obvious that he was lying. The lies, the lies, the lies.
The lies. There you go, this bitch. I'm telling you.
He tries to explain that after Janae made it clear that she wanted to live together, he just froze. And he just froze because he didn't want to have an argument about the conversation. And he tries to use that as the explanation as to why he was silent and short with her. His whole demeanor changed, and that's just that's not gonna cut it. It clearly shows something other than what you're saying in the clips that we saw, Kenny. There's nothing you can do to try to lie, backtrack your way out of this. Serena makes a good point that it would have been the perfect opportunity for them to try to do a little test run to see if they can live together in the same environment, because they do live long distance. It would have only been for 2 months for the summer. Him deciding not to live with her should have been a clear indication that something was off, because what other reason would it make sense for you to not want to share a space with your girlfriend that you already don't live with and don't see 100% of the time, just like Leah and Miguel are able to because they're in the same cities, and just like Cordell and Serena were able to when he's in town. So it just doesn't make any sense. And I feel like that should have easily rang some alarm bells. And I think that it did with Janae. It was in the back of her mind. She just wanted to keep giving the relationship a chance and give Kenny the benefit of the doubt. Serena brings up marriage, and she said that she knows that she wants to marry somebody within 6 months of being with him. And she says Cordell checks all her boxes. She knows already she wants to get married to him. And she says she would marry him today if he asked, and they would elope immediately. And I can definitely see that for them. I am for that. I love their relationship. And Leah says the same thing about Miguel. She says that if Miguel were to propose to her, she would immediately marry him. And again, I can see them together as well. But when Janae hears this, that gets her to thinking about her own situation and how much she very much longs to get married as well, obviously. And how frustrating it is that her and Kenny are in the space that they were at the time, and how much it is just differing from what she wants. She's just, I feel in these scenes, we're starting to see that Janae is starting to catch on that something just isn't right with Kenny. So it's interesting that we get to see how that happens up to real time to see how they ended up breaking up officially. But I think it's interesting that we get to see her finally start to open her eyes and understand that something is definitely off with Kenny. Okay, so we swing over to Kendall. He is supposed to be there with Alana to take her out on a second date. And for a quick refresher, Alana is that girl that Kendall met at the Love Island party in episode 1. So they already went on a previous date already. We didn't get much details on that. Good thing, it looked boring anyway. They're at this little mini golf place and we see Alana waiting for Kendall, which is already a red flag. She calls Kendall to see how far he is from the location and he says, I'm gonna be like 7 minutes. She is there on time. He is now late. So he pulls up 15 minutes late, actually. And she's rightfully pissed off and she's like, hello? Why are you having me wait? And we find out she lives 2.5 hours away. She lives in Tacoma, I think they said it was. Something with the T. She had to drive to see him, which I was just like, why? I'm wondering, is she meeting up with him this time because the first date happened where she was and now it's her turn to drive? I don't know. I wish we would have got some of those details because from what it looks like, it just looks like Kendall had her drive all the way out here for a date to see her, when I'm thinking, shouldn't Kendall be making the drive to go see her? Shouldn't that be what... I don't know, like I'm thinking that the man should be doing the driving to go see you to show at least, he has that interest. And the fact that she had to go see him, in my opinion, I don't know if that signifies that Kendall really has a lot of interest in her, especially with him having her wait 15 minutes after she had already had to drive 2.5 hours. I was just like, Kendall, get the fuck out of here. You're not gonna sit over here and disrespect her and her time like that. So I was pissed off for her. So while they're playing, Kendall randomly asks Alana about her exes and her past relationships, and she explains her last relationship was not a healthy one, and that opens the door for Kendall to second that, and he brings up his experience with Nicole and how that has negatively impacted his dating life and how it has made him want to put up walls when he's meeting someone rather than just jump into something immediately like he used to, which would be smart for anyone anyway. Essentially, Kendall says that he doesn't see a lot of sparks with Alana, but he still wants to give her that time to see if it will come. And personally, I don't think that Kendall likes Alana. I don't. I think that he's just trying to put himself out there and date around to see what he likes, but I just feel like from the interactions they have together, it's clear they don't have a lot of chemistry. So I can see this fizzling out after this real soon. So once they get done playing, they both express interest in wanting to keep getting to know each other, keep wanting to spend time with each other. And Alana stresses the fact that because of their distance, they both need to put the effort in to wanting to see each other. And she stresses that she hopes Kendall makes the time to go and see her the next time they meet up, which brings me back to the thing I was saying before. Did Kendall go and drive out to see her last time? And that's why she's coming out to see him? Because the way that she says, I hope you come out and see me next time, made it sound like to me that he hasn't made the drive out there to see her. These last 2 times they've been there, she had to go see him. Either the first time they had the date, it was around the same time that she maybe could have still been in town. That could have been something that makes more sense, but I just find it weird that Kendall made her drive out to see him first versus him being a gentleman and going out there to see her first. I just feel like that just is a clear indication that Kendall doesn't have as much interest in her than she might have in him. So PPG meets up with Ariana and they're at this cafe. I don't know if this is her shop or I mean, I don't think that she works there. I mean, I'm assuming she doesn't, but she had like a shirt on. So let's just assume she owns the shop. Let's just say that. Girls give Ariana a quick update on their couples, and Serena brings up a good point that she's been dealing with a lot of anxiety because of the negative comments that she's been receiving online, and Leah says she's been dealing with the same thing. Ariana gives them some advice, and she explains to them, although there will be negative comments, there will be a lot more positive than negative. She explains that the reason why we pay more attention to the negative comments is because the negative people are often much louder than the people that are giving positive feedback and love and support. So we tend to pay more attention to the negative comments. It's important to tune that out and focus on the love and positivity that they are receiving, which I think is a good point to make, especially when you are in the spotlight. It's important for you to do whatever you can to protect your peace, your mental health. So I'm glad that they were able to get that bit of advice from Ariana, who's already been in this space for quite a long time, since she was on Vanderpump Rules for a while. Janae gets a text, and it's from Megan Thee Stallion trying to invite Janae to walk in her runway show for her swimsuit line. And I actually think I saw a clip of Janae on TikTok for this runway show, and she looked so bomb. I love that she shines. I love that she is unapologetically herself. That is definitely the move, girl. Clocked it. So in a surprising little twist, we see Aaron, and he's meeting up with Liv at her apartment. And that really kind of threw me off because I was like, when did y'all get so close to the point where you guys are having individual meetups? It was already something off to me, and we're gonna see why in this scene. Going back a little, the show for Megan Thee Stallion is gonna be in Miami, so the whole cast is going to go ahead and go over to Miami. So that's what Liv and Aaron start their conversation off on, and Aaron just expresses he's not extremely excited on going because he can tell that he is really singled out in the group. A lot of people give him the cold shoulder. He doesn't really feel welcomed in the group, so he's not really too pumped to go and be with the whole group and try to be cordial and be kumbaya the whole time. Him saying that and then going back to how Serena was talking about I don't feel bad for Aaron for X, Y, and Z really makes me irritated and sad for him because it just is even more showing how much people in the group are continuing to hold that over Aaron's head about what happened in the villa because they are so close to Kaylor, which I understand you want to be there for your friend, but on the other hand, it's like you're getting way too involved in drama that had nothing to do with you. You can have your opinion on how Aaron dealt with the situation, but I just feel like for you to carry it on this long to now make him feel like he's not welcome to be around, he's singled out, really just kind of like Connor, is like, okay, can we move on now? Everyone has apologized for what happened on the show. It's been some time. You guys are now on a show together. Can we not just move on from the shit? Like that whole thing where we're canceling people out for no reason is really annoying. I just feel like it's starting to ruin the dynamic of the show when it comes down to them having to be in a group, because now it's like they're in groups. You know, I hope they can work through that, and I hope during the Miami trip, everything can be ironed out, everyone can be on the same page, and we can all agree we're gonna be in a group. Things are much more fun when we can do things as a group. So I hope that changes when they do get to Miami. Aaron asks Liv where her and Kaylor stand right now with their friendship, and Liv explains that they are just taking slow steps to getting back to a more cordial, loving place in their friendship, since right now they still have a lot of tension going on. So she is just trying to let it ride out and go with the flow with it, really. So Aaron starts talking about Kaylor and how she's been dealing with this whole situation with Torrin, how she's been pushing him away and treating him like ish this entire time after he confronted her because she was sending him mixed signals and doing all this back and forth knowing that she had Torrin on the side. And he just feels like she's starting to act differently. She's starting to burn her bridges. And he feels like he no longer wants to be there for her and give that support that he wanted to initially because of how she's acting. He says that he wished he would have stayed in his place before, cared for her from a distance and just stayed out of the drama, because now all of this stuff is starting to brew up and it's affecting his peace and his mental health, and he's just not going for that. So Liv takes that opportunity to now take what Aaron and Kaylor had going on and apply it to her and Kaylor's situation. She tries to manipulate the whole situation and tries to say, oh, Aaron, I know exactly how you feel when Kaylor tries to make up things about you and come at you all of a sudden, and you're just caught off guard. Like, where's all this coming from? What are you talking about? And I'm just like, Liv, that is not what happened with you and Kaylor. That's not what the situation was. For one, she didn't make up anything about you. What she confronted you with was exactly what happened. You are now trying to victimize yourself with this situation that happened with Aaron and Kaylor, because you don't want to have to be seen as the bad person because of how whack of a friend you were being to Kaylor in the first place. Now, this entire meetup that Liv orchestrated, we can tell, is so calculated. It's so manipulative. She wanted to be able to use the drama that Kaylor had with Aaron, because in their situation, Kaylor is in the wrong. She's doing this back and forth with Aaron. She's messing with his emotions. She's flirting with him. She's trying to kiss him while she has Torn on the side. With Kaylor and Liv was the one that was in the wrong, doing all this lying to Kaylor and not including her in certain things. So now Liv wants to now apply the situation with Aaron essentially being a victim, quote, in their situation. Now she wants to twist that and apply it to her and Kaylor's situation to make herself to also be a victim of what Kaylor is doing, to make it seem like Kaylor is just treating everybody like shit because she's going through something. And I'm just like, wow, Liv, you really blew me with that one, because I don't know. Is anyone else seeing it that way? Is anyone else seeing that Liv literally just is using this situation to now apply it to her own situation with Kaylor, to make it seem like Kaylor is just out here treating people wrong and burning bridges and pushing people away just because she's going through a rough time with her grandma being sick? Like, does that make sense? I don't know. I just feel like Liv is really showing her ass, and she's showing that she's not a good friend. She's only about herself. She wants to do whatever she can to clear her name, and that is supported, in my opinion, with the sneak peeks that we get from the rest of the season, and how Kaylor blows up on Liv for trying to do this whole cahoots thing with Aaron. Like, I don't know. That will be very, very, very juicy when we get to that. And speaking of Kaylor, we get a scene of her in the car, and she's on the way to the airport. She has to go back home to see her grandma because her grandma is really close to going to the Lord. So right now, she gets on the phone with Serena, and she's explaining to her how she's feeling. She's upset, she's overwhelmed, she's overstimulated because of all the emotions going through her head. She has to go back and forth between LA and Pennsylvania to make sure her family's okay. And Serena just gives her that love and support that Kaylor really needs, that she's not getting from her supposed best friend, Liv. And she just expresses how much she really appreciates Serena being such a great friend to her, how she's always there when she needs her. She always is checking up on her and just giving her that love that she needs from a friend that she's not getting from Liv. I'm honestly really glad that Kaylor does have somebody else to lean on other than Liv, since she's not showing to be a dependable friend or a support system by any means. So I thought that was a great little scene to get from the two of them. Seeing how they were interacting at the Love Island party did show that they had a strong friendship. So I hope that they keep growing together. And honestly, I think that they should add Kaylor into PPG. Like, why not? Why not add her in? You can just have some other quirky person added to the mix. I think that would be a cute little 4-group friendship. Kenny and Kendall meet up to have some drinks. They start chit-chatting. Kendall tells Kenny about the date he had with Alana. He does tell Kenny that he doesn't feel much of a spark with her, which was clearly obvious. But then he says that Nicole is in town and they agreed to meet up to have a conversation. And I thought it was real interesting. I mean, I guess in a way I understand why they have her on the show, You know what? No, I don't understand why they have her on the show. Why is she here? Because the only reason why it makes any sense for her to be here is for her to give Kendall a clear apology for how she just aired his ass out at the freaking reunion, threw him under the bus, and did whatever she can to victimize herself because Kendall didn't outright tell her every single detail about the photo that was talked about and how it got this whole big controversy with Kendall. And spoiler alert, she does not give him no real apology, so there was no reason for her to be on the show. But I digress. Speaking of Nicole, we see her meeting up with Leah and Serena, and she tells them that she's in town for work and she's single right now, but she's dating around, talking to a few different guys. Nicole says that Liv and Kaylor unfollowed her on Instagram. She thinks it's because Kendall told them to. Then she tells them that her and Kendall agreed to meet up to have a discussion, and she tells them she hasn't spoken to Kendall after he ended things after their reunion. So she's really anxious to have that conversation with Kendall. Back to Kenny and Kendall, and Kendall does bring up the situation that happened at the reunion where Nicole threw him under the bus and put him on blast. And Kendall says that that really devastated him because he didn't think that Nicole would ever do something like that to him. He says that he felt like she stabbed him in the back. And a few days after the reunion, like we said previously, he broke things off with her. He then reveals that when they broke up, Nicole told Kendall not to post anything about it. He initially thought that was because she just wanted to have their privacy protected, but it was actually because she wanted to jump the gun and be the first one to announce they broke up. Once again, very calculated and very much showing who she really is. The girls tell Nicole that Kendall has officially moved to LA, and ever since that he has moved, he's been partying up all night long. And every time Kendall brings up a situation with Nicole, he makes sure to let everyone know she is the villain in his story. When she hears that, she gets upset. And she actually says the switch up from Kendall is actually so crazy. And I'm like, girl, are you not getting it? Are you not getting it? Or you just really want to be seen as a victim? Or you just really want Kendall to be seen as the bad guy so bad? I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this. You're the one that was in the wrong in the entire situation, girl, period. I don't think Kendall was wrong in that situation in the slightest. You're mad because Kendall didn't tell you the truth of when the photo was taken. Regardless of when the photo was taken, it was prior to you guys even meeting. Literally, you just want to have a reason to distance yourself from Kendall because you are embarrassed about the photo. Let's just be so real. You don't want to be associated with Kendall because you might look at him differently because of the photo. Just be real about that shit, because there should be no other reason why it affects you and makes you this upset that he lied about when the photo was taken. I guess Kendall told Nicole the photo was taken a long time ago and it was on like a dating site or something dumb. But in all actuality, it was taken right before Kendall went into the villa, and she's upset that he lied to her about when the photo was taken. And I'm just like, Nicole, you are grasping at straws, girlfriend, and it is so clearly obvious. You want to find whatever scapegoat you can to have your little freeway ticket to get out of the relationship, instead of just having to be brutally honest and being like, you know what, that photo turned me off. I don't really have interest anymore. I just want to go my separate way. That would have gained you a lot more respect versus you trying to victimize yourself, make the whole thing about yourself when it was about Kendall being exposed. Somebody released that photo trying to humiliate him. He was the one that should have been the only one to feel anything in that situation. You should have been there to support him, and clearly you were not. So, next! So now we're at Kenny and Janae's apartment building, and they are meeting up with the person that is coming to pick up Juan to take him to his new foster home. And immediately Janae is very emotional. Her and Juan developed a close connection, so she's having a hard time letting him go. Kenny, on the other hand, is a lot more eager for him to go because he's tired of Juan tearing up his apartment, pooping and peeing all over the place. So he's more like, yep, good riddance, bye Juan. So Kenny once again starts to display these manipulation tactics by trying to tell Janae, oh, when our kids leave the nest, we're gonna have to be ready to let them go too. And I'm just like, whoa, wait, there it is. You are trying to sit over here and tell Janae whatever she wants to hear to keep up this facade. And of course, when Janae hears this, her face lights up. Kids? Because he knows how much she wants kids with Kenny. And she expressed that when they went to the bowling alley and had that date, how many kids she wanted. And clearly, even at that point, Kenny was not giving her any reciprocation of how excited he would be to have kids with her. He was just getting all quiet, making these faces. And I'm just like, yeah, that was so clear to manipulate her and make her feel like, you know, things are still on a good pace and on a good track, when really behind the scenes, that's not how you really feel. So I clocked that immediately. So Kendall's on the way to meet up with Nicole, and he's on the phone with Kenny, and he's just expressing to him how nervous he is to meet up with her. Not sure if she still has any animosity towards him. He also once again states that she never apologized for that whole thing that went down at the reunion. So he is hoping that she comes with an apology so he can get the closure that he needs. So when Nicole does show up to the restaurant, they get right into the reason why they're even there. And Kendall brings up the situation at the reunion, how bad it made him feel, and he said that was the worst he had ever felt in his whole life. Nicole once again makes the situation about herself and says she was so mad at Kendall for lying to her that she disassociated herself from the entire situation, and that resulted in her not being there for Kendall as much as she probably should have. Okay, and then she says, I think that was the reason why I didn't have as much what's the word? And Kendall goes, empathy? And she's like, yeah, empathy. I guess, yeah, empathy. I'm just like, girl, this whole thing was a waste. You're not giving any real accountability. You're not giving him any real apology. I just feel like Nicole overall is a weirdo. She's a weirdo. She's selfish. She wants to do whatever she can to clear her name. And I feel like that was the only reason why she came on the show, was to try to clear her name, was to try to make Kendall out to be as much of the problem and victimize herself as much as possible, because she probably is still getting some sort of backlash online because of what happened, because she didn't give any real apology to what she did. Like, it's not that hard to understand. We're just gonna go ahead and just say you apologize just for the sake of us moving on. Next! So that was the end of the episode. I really like this episode. It's starting to heat up. We get a sneak peek of the rest of the season. I am so excited because we see a big blow up between Kaylor and Liv. Kaylor chews Liv's ass out. She's calling her a bitch, telling her how fake she is, and I was like, oh, it's about to get good. So I'm excited for the next episode. How did you feel about the episode, the recap? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye!